Maybe some of you really understand very deep what I mean when I talk about a health situation. Maybe you lose it, or somebody whom you love losing it. We are here to help you and teach you how to overcome all these obstacles which you think is not fixable at all. But the truth is, it's fixable. It's very important to know our body and what's going on in here and how we can fix it. And the good news is there is a lot of great supplement products and stuff, non-chemical, to help you to achieve this journey. We're going to talk about it a lot. My good friend here is Dr. Khan. He's going to explain to you which is happening in our body and how we can overcome to fix it in the best way possible, which is going to blow your mind. We are going to have Dr. Gary here to speak to you. Oh, he is one of my favorite human beings so far in terms of understanding human physical conditions and how we fix and overcome this obstacle in the easiest way possible. The way he explained it, every single time I try to be quiet, listen there, sit there and listen to him for hours and hours and hours, because you're never going to be satisfied. I remember 2 days ago we were in Utah together. He was speaking about this beautiful life journey and how we can fix so many stuff. And he was asking me, is there anybody didn't hear me before? And I was the first person to raise my hand. I say, and he said, you was there everywhere I go. I said, no, I never hear enough. I want to hear more. I want to know more. Because as much as you know what you have to do. I'm not going to speak here the whole day. Definitely I'm going to share the stage with some of the greatest people, friends. Let me put it in this way. The person whom I'm going to invite to come on a stage is one of the super intelligent person I've seen so far. And I'm not telling you this because he's my friend now and he wants to come here and speak. And by the fact, I meet him in person today. But the level of responsibility, the level of knowledge, the level of, I admire him. I didn't say anything to him since yesterday. He's here. He's going to fly to LA with his fiancée, Miss Maria. So she's going to speak about some of our product as well. But I just wanted to, say thank you to him here in front of these couple of thousand people worldwide. So we are almost over 12 countries and more than 15 different nationalities online right now. I just wanted to say I'm so grateful and I'm so honored to know him. And I have a very, very strong feeling this is going to be the long, long journey together. And what we are going to offer you and inform you and give you the information about is going to blow your mind. I want you to please sit tight and be ready for one of my good friends, Mr. Dr. Khan, to join us on the stage and take over the stage and give you some of the most amazing information you might know and heard in your life. Please take your note, be ready, grab your pen, and you're about to change, not only mentally, physically, and your health forever from this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. That was beautiful words. Jeff's wonderful. Thank you all for being here. I am so excited to kick this event off with you. This is the culmination of years of research, product innovation to give you exactly what you need, and that is your health. Health is wealth. And just like Master Jeff said, sometimes you don't know how important health is until it's about to be taken away from you. So why am I here today? My background is I'm a published nutrition researcher. My background specializes in creatine supplementation, in particularly Alzheimer's disease and dementia. But I'm also an exercise physiologist, sports nutritionist, public speaker, and also a health coach. So what I want to talk to you all about today is some of the most important health issues that are plaguing us at a greater rate than any point in history. And that has a lot to do with the last 2 years. The stress, the anxiety, maybe the weight gain, maybe the fatigue, the more need for energy drinks. So we're going to talk about some of all of these health issues, and we're going to show you how are we different. A lot of companies just like to push products. Now here's the problem with that. If you only push products and do not address the root cause, you are just selling your customer a product. This is a lifestyle. As Master Jeff was talking about, the triangle, emphasizing health. Health is not just supplementation. It's nutrition. It's lifestyle. It's sleep. We're going to talk heavily on sleep today. And so what we're going to do today is show you and create a beautiful synergy of product, lifestyle, vitality, so that you can have energy, thrive, and be the best you. You have one life, and health is truly wealth. You cannot buy health. You can buy the supplements. You can buy the trainers. You can buy the health coach, but you have to put in the work. And many people do not know what it feels like to have proper energy through healthy lifestyle without having to consume 3 or 4 energy drinks per day. Or maybe it's a cigarette, or maybe it's a drink of alcohol at night. We'll talk about that. Many of you don't know what it feels like to wake up with beautiful energy so you can be vibrant, radiant. For my female audience, we're going to also talk about some of the root causes of improper skin health and how stress, anxiety, and lack of sleep affect that. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to actually go through some of the 7 most important areas of health, and actually for kids and even pets as well, because they're important too. But we're going to start off with what we call our first package, which is the stress, anxiety, weight loss, and immunity package. Now you might say, Naveen, how is all that possible? You see, another thing that companies don't tell you is they don't teach you the body has a beautiful synergy. Immunity, stress, sleep, muscle gain, fat burning, it's all connected. But when it's thrown off, because the body works in synergy, the body is thrown off. The body does not just think about brain health, liver health, gut health, metabolic health. It is all connected. So I'm here today to show you how it's all connected and how it can all be taken out of whack. So let's start off. Maybe this is you. Do you have anxiety at work? So I'm going to ask you some questions. These are the same questions that I ask when I do what we call a symptoms questionnaire with my clients, and then we get their blood work looked at, their hormonal panel, their in-depth cholesterol panel, stress and resilience panel. It's the most advanced biomarker testing in the world. So, do you have anxiety at work? Is this you? How about this one? Do you always crave sugar when you're stressed out? Think about that for a second. Do any of you crave sugar when you're stressed out? Why is that? Well, you see, why do we crave sugar? It's not that carbohydrates are bad. It's that when we're stressed out, our body is in something called the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system response. That is a state of emergency, okay? And so what happens is your body secretes a hormone, okay? This is very important. It's called cortisol. I'm going to refer to cortisol many times. If you keep scrolling down the page, behind me, you'll see that cortisol, what it does, it's a stress hormone, okay? Now, cortisol is not a bad hormone. It has its place. What is the problem? The problem is when we are chronically stressed. So you'll see some of these issues. Do you have issues with, is it hard for you to lose body fat? Do you have trouble remembering information? Like how many times have you guys been at work and you just forget because of your stress and lack of sleep, okay? The problem is when you have chronic stress or chronic cortisol, it severely impacts virtually every single system within the body. When you have high levels of cortisol, what happens? And by the way, I want to give you some statistics. For the first time in modern history, the stress market, whether it's the supplements or whether it is just yoga, meditation, personal training, it is the biggest market right now for the first time in modern history. Why? What did we just all go through the last 2 years? Stress is the #1 leading health issue. Mental health is huge and actually affecting younger people even more. So because we have such high issues with stress, all of the negative things associated with stress are happening at a faster rate, and even in younger people, especially with hormonal health. We'll talk about that. So what are some of the effects of high stress? Or chronic cortisol. So if you continue to look at the screen, you will see these are the effects. Number one, your blood sugar goes up. Remember we talked about craving that blood sugar, right? Sorry, craving sugar when we're stressed out. Sugar is a fast energy source. Your body prefers quick energy when you're stressed out. So that's why when you're stressed out, maybe you got a deadline for work, you got 4 hours of sleep, your body's going to go into that adrenaline overload and it's going to crave that sugar, okay? What else happens when your blood sugar goes up? You secrete a hormone called insulin, okay? For any of you dealing with type 2 diabetes or you're pre-diabetic, insulin, it has its place and it is necessary. The problem is insulin does what? So we have the high stress, that increases the cortisol. When cortisol goes up, your blood sugar goes up. So when that happens, insulin goes up. And insulin tells your body to not burn body fat. Insulin actually tells your body to store everything into fat. So you see, it's a vicious cycle. High stress, high cortisol, leads to high blood sugar, leads to insulin. When insulin's up, the fat burning is almost virtually impossible. To make matters worse, you don't sleep as well because you're so anxious at night. How many of us wake up in the middle of the night wide awake? It's high cortisol. It's high stress. And when you're not sleeping, what happens? Sleep is the center of human health. One of the biggest pillars is most underlooked. When you sleep, that is when your hormones reset. That is when you burn body fat. I'm going to give you some statistics here, okay? So actually, before I do that, let's recap. High stress, which is high cortisol, leads to high blood sugar. High blood sugar leads to increased insulin. Increased insulin tells your body don't burn body fat. So do you see the correlation between stress, high blood sugar, and gaining body fat? So now let's talk about sleep. One night of sleep, and by the way, in the United States, this is a real statistic. Did you know that heart attacks, now I'm not trying to scare you and tell you if you don't get sleep, you're going to have a heart attack. That's not what I'm saying. But did you know that in the United States, we have something called daylight savings times, which is where we will either move the clock forward 1 hour or back. But did you know the day when we move it forward, meaning people in America, they lose 1 hour of sleep, heart attacks jump up by 25%. Let me say that again. Heart attacks in the United States, the day after we lose an hour of sleep, go up by 25%. Why is that? Because sleep deprivation increases your risk for type 2 diabetes, dementia, which is my research background, increased body fat, loss of muscle mass, and wrecked hormonal health. For my women out there that want to look beautiful, stay young, growth hormone, right? It's the anti-aging hormone. Guess when we produce it? When we sleep. One night of sleep deprivation increases cortisol by 25%. Remember, it's the stress hormone. One night of sleep deprivation lowers your testosterone and hormonal balance in women. So you can kind of see. So now what I want to talk to you is some of the root causes of chronic stress. So I told you the problem. I'm going to tell you the cause of the problem. And then we're going to talk about some products and lifestyle to give you the solution. So what are some of the biggest causes of chronic stress and anxiety and poor immunity? By the way, the biggest killer of the immune system is chronic stress, 100%. Number one, lack of sleep. Number two, you are not spending enough time outdoors. Human beings are meant to wake up and go expose themselves to sunlight. We are not moving enough. We're sitting all day. We are nutrient deficient, meaning we are not consuming enough organic fruits and vegetables. I know it's cliche, but it's true. The reason why you're tired is because you're not fueling your body the right way, and I'm here to show you how to do that. Number four, lack of physical activity, and here's a big one, excessive caffeine intake. So let's stop there for a second. And by the way, the caffeine market is going down. Why? So caffeine, in moderate doses is okay. A cup of green tea, That's fine. What's the problem? We have 1 or 2 cups of coffee for breakfast. Monster at lunch. If we're lucky to get to the gym, a scoop of pre-workout. So, what's the issue with caffeine? Guess what caffeine does, or excessive caffeine intake? Increases cortisol. So I like to use this analogy with caffeine. If I were to get injured in the gym or get into an accident and I would need surgery, they'd give me painkillers. What do painkillers do? It numbs the pain. Caffeine does that in your brain. You see, in your brain you have a receptor. It's called an adenosine receptor. And what that receptor does is it's a receptor to tell you if you're fatigued. So caffeine blocks that receptor. So caffeine is blocking the receptor that's telling your brain you're tired. So caffeine is the pain number, the killer. What happens once the caffeine wears out? We get that crash. Why? Because caffeine can no longer block those pain receptors, what we call adenosine receptors, to tell you that you're not tired. And we're going to talk about this in the skin bundle. For my female clients, and even men too, I'm concerned with my skin health as well. Guess what kills collagen? We all want collagen production, right? Excessive cortisol eats collagen more than anything. So, caffeine intake. This is a big one, why you can't sleep at night. You are staring at your screen, your phone, right before you go to bed. When you stare at that screen, you're emitting something called blue light. And blue light is telling your body to stay awake. Your brain does not know the difference between the bright light in your phone versus the sun outside. Now guess what that blue light also does? It inhibits a hormone called melatonin. I'm sure you've all heard of melatonin before. Melatonin, which is secreted from your pineal gland, it tells your body to go to bed. So if I'm here staring at my phone with no blue light blockers, the glasses, you can buy them, the screen is telling my body not to produce melatonin, which is telling me not to go to sleep. Guess what melatonin also does? Melatonin produces a type of fat called brown fat. And brown fat is the good type of fat tissue. Brown fat tells your body to have a faster metabolism. So in essence, those are the root causes of chronic stress, weight gain, and we're tying a little bit into low libido and poor skin health. We'll go into those momentarily. So now, what I want to introduce to you is a bundle. We call this the Stress, Anxiety, and Immunity Bundle. This bundle, incorporated with fixing the root causes, so getting proper sleep, getting outdoors, making sure you're sleeping in a black room before you go to bed with no lights, is going to give you that vibrant, radiant life you desired. If anyone just sells you supplement products without addressing your lifestyle, run away. We're not like that. So now, I'm going to go down into the products. So as we go down, the first product that I want to talk about is called Ashwagandha. Okay? Ashwagandha. Maybe some of you have heard of it before. So Ashwagandha is one of the, and there you can see our bundle right there. If you go down, you'll see ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is one of the most effective, scientifically validated, natural anti-stress herbs on the market. It is not a pharmaceutical drug, as you can see right there. It is a herb. It's been used for thousands of years, and it comes from India. And it's very popular, we call Ayurvedic medicine. Now, what does ashwagandha do? It lowers that stress hormone, cortisol. So remember, we talked about what are the negative effects of chronic stress. High blood sugar, which leads to chronic inflammation, which leads to increased insulin, which leads to increased body fat gain, which leads to sleep deprivation, which leads to dementia, which leads to impaired cognitive function, right? So if we know those are all the effects of chronic stress, and we know that ashwagandha combats that, so what do you think the effects of ashwagandha are? And by the way, ashwagandha is one of the most popular products on the market right now. Okay? Ashwagandha helps to lower your cortisol. In fact, any clients that come to me for hormonal balance, stress, I'm always putting them on ashwagandha. So ashwagandha will allow you to adapt to the stresses of your life better. You will get the best results when you incorporate the lifestyle. Now, many of you have never taken ashwagandha. And if you've never taken it before, the first time that you do, it's going to be like the biggest stress relief ever. So ashwagandha will allow you to get a hint of what I talked about earlier. Many of you don't know what it feels like to have energy, to not have to drink 3 or 4 energy drinks a day, a coffee, to have that cigarette, to have that alcoholic drink every night. Many of you don't know what it feels like because you've been lied to. Who's been lying to you? The energy drink companies. They've been lying to you about how your body gets energy. Your body does not get energy by you getting 4 hours of sleep, drinking 4 energy drinks a day, not eating any fruits and vegetables, not getting any exercise, and then just taking an energy drink it's like a Band-Aid. That Band-Aid is ripped off when the caffeine wears out. They've been lying to you. We are here to tell you the truth. We're here to solve your problems and help you get the solution so you can get the most important pillar, which is health. Moving on, the next product in the bundle as we go down is going to be our anxiety formula. Our anxiety formula is a phenomenal blend of herbs, botanicals, and antioxidants that are going to work synergistically with ashwagandha. Every product in these bundles have synergy, a relationship. They're not just up here for you guys to buy 5 products. They are here as a team. People have doctors, lawyers, directors, PA, whatever your vocation is. Think of this as your team. So the anxiety formula has some really awesome herbs and supplements in there. What I want to talk about is called GABA, okay? And that stands for, I'll give you some science here, GABA aminobutyric acid. Don't let that fancy scientific term throw you off. What does GABA do? GABA is the emergency brake of your brain. That's an analogy I like to give. So when we are highly stressed, or if I were to talk, even though I love doing this for 20 hours nonstop, which I could do, I'm not going to, but I could, I would probably have very low GABA in my brain. Why is that? GABA tells our body to calm down and to focus, right? And so what happens is GABA, when we're stressed out, we don't have enough of it. So GABA basically just tells your body, hey, calm down, relax, okay? So with this product, and it's the part of the brain called the frontal lobe, which is the front of your brain, that becomes overstimulated. So GABA just says, hey, relax, let's calm down. So ashwagandha and GABA have a beautiful synergy. Now, remember I said immunity is so important. I'm here to tell you right now, you can take all the vitamin D in the world you want and all the vitamin C and the zinc, while it will help. If you're not getting proper sleep and managing your stress, your immune system is probably functioning 60 to 70% of its capacity. Because chronically elevated levels of cortisol attack what we call our adaptive and innate immunity. I'm sure you've all heard the term antibodies, right? We've heard that a lot. Maybe some of you have heard a term called inflammatory cytokines, okay? So chronic cortisol inhibits antibody production, okay? Now another thing that we didn't talk about, brain function, cognitive function. Remember I said cortisol, one of the symptoms maybe is you having trouble focusing at work. Well, guess what chronic cortisol does? What happens when we're stressed out? We tend to forget things, right? You're about to go to work. You forget, oh my God, where are my keys? Your kids are calling you, Mom, I want to go to soccer practice, right? We tend to forget short-term memory. Well, there's a reason for that. You see in your brain, just bear with me, I promise this will make sense. In your brain, there's a tiny organ. It's called the hippocampus, okay? Just the name. So what does the hippocampus do? It's responsible for memory and learning, especially short-term memory. Remember I just said when you're stressed out, you tend to forget things. Well, why is that? Well, you see, chronic stress actually shrinks the size of the hippocampus. Remember, the hippocampus is responsible for memory and learning. So when stress goes up, it shrinks the size of the organ that's responsible for memory and learning, and that is why we forget. So you see how chronic stress messes virtually everything up in the body. Now, when it comes back to the immune health, this next product is called our elderberry immunity. It is an absolutely delicious drink. It is not just an elderberry immunity product, it's also a hydration product. Okay? It's delicious. Now, what is phenomenal about this product? I'll say a few things. It has the highest amounts of elderberry in the market. It's over 1,000 milligrams. It has over 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. It's got over 2,000 international units of vitamin D. All of the vitamins and minerals in this formula are in their what we call most bioavailable state. Meaning, and let's stop there for a second. So what is bioavailability? That is just how well can your body absorb and assimilate the nutrients, how well can it recognize that nutrient compared to nature. Because the best way to get all your vitamins and minerals, which unfortunately is virtually impossible today because we poison so many of our food system and very few people buy organic, is through whole food nutrition, right? So bioavailable means that the nutrients in this powder are as close to possible as you would find them in nature. So that is why when you buy a product, and I want you to do this, there is such thing as a synthetic form of a vitamin versus a natural form. Every vitamin and superfood in our powder, this elderberry immunity delicious drink, is in their most bioavailable state. It also is a hydration product. Magnesium, sodium, potassium. So it has similar electrolyte ratios that you'd find in a Gatorade. And here, guess what? It's actually flavored with pink Himalayan salt. And the vitamin C, which is that little red cherry that you see, is in its most bioavailable state. We call it Arcola or Acerola cherry. This product is the perfect solution if you've been going online and buying vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, all of it. It's in one convenient solution. So far we have this beautiful synergy between ashwagandha, between the anxiety formula, and the elderberry. It's all a synergy. The other product that we have in this bundle is going to be the sleep formula. So the sleep formula is just basically, as its name implies, it's going to have some other herbs to help you calm down. They work, think of ashwagandha as the leader of the ship in this bundle, followed by the elderberry, the anxiety formula, and then the sleep formula. So the sleep formula has herbs, maybe you've heard of it, like chamomile, lemon balm, valerian root. These are all herbs that have tons of research. And by the way, if you see the content and when it is available on the website, every single, not just product, every single ingredient of every single product, I have written evidence-based descriptions. I am the author. We didn't go on Google. So what does that mean? For every single ingredient of every single product in the catalog, there is a scientific study. And some of that research is my own, especially with creatine. So these are not claims we're making out of thin air. These are all peer-reviewed, evidence-based claims. So let's continue. The other product and the final product in this formula is going to be the magnesium. Okay? And so magnesium is also very, very important to help you calm down and relax. And we'll talk about magnesium in the other bundles. So now I want to paint a picture for you. If you go down towards the bottom, I want to paint a picture of you, of this new life. I want to ask yourself, is a couple dollars or whatever currency per day worth it to get rid of your stress? Think about that. Do you deserve to live a vibrant, radiant life with no stress, with no weight gain, with no anxiety? The thing is, especially if you are stressed, and especially if you do have anxiety, and you have very poor sleep, I already know, without you telling me, you're spending a lot of money on energy drinks, you're spending a lot of money on a lot of coffee, alcohol, and tobacco. Why? Because you have to get your energy from somewhere. And again, you've been lied to by the caffeine companies. So I'm asking you, it's a paradigm shift. Do you think it's time for you? Do you think it's time for you to start your new life? To wake up having energy in the morning? To give you that enthusiasm, that passion that the stress is killing you? You have to ask yourself that. Are you ready to try the right solution And not just a solution with products, but a solution with a lifestyle. So I want you, this is our first bundle, I want you, if we continue down, to start your journey to your new, vibrant, radiant life full of longevity. And this bundle, even though they're all important, is probably the most important because it is such a big issue. So if you answered yes to any of the questions we asked today, it's time. It's time. So thank you. That was probably longer than I would have gone for the other bundles. So now we're going to go on to the next. And don't worry, we'll have a Q&A. But that, what I talked about, why I went so in depth, is because that is the foundation for so many health issues. So, as we're getting to the next package, I want you all again to think about what we just talked about. Because you have two choices. You can either continue to do the same thing and not get results and be miserable and put yourself at risk for getting sick with poor stress, or you can start your new journey. It's up to you. I think you guys can do it. So, the next bundle that I want to talk about is going to be our male testosterone bundle. We call it the male hormonal and vitality bundle. Okay? So, what is the biggest killer of hormonal health in men? Cortisol. We talked about that. When cortisol is elevated, we start to get a bigger belly. We call that the cortisol belly. I am seeing younger and younger men come to me with low testosterone more than any other point ever. And that's statistically and epidemiologically as well. If you look at the data, low testosterone is becoming more and more common. Why? What did I say was the biggest health issue right now? Stress. So when stress goes up, your libido, your hormones go down. So how is that possible? There is a hormone, maybe you've heard of it, it's called DHEA. DHEA is the precursor to all the sex hormones, not just in men, but in women as well. And this is why high cortisol and stress wrecks female libido as well. So, DHEA is needed to turn into testosterone and the sex hormones in men. Think of DHEA as an orange, okay? And testosterone as the orange juice. So if I want orange juice, I need to squeeze that orange. Okay? Well, think of cortisol as somebody coming with a machete and chopping down that orange tree. Forget not even being able to squeeze the orange, there's no tree. So cortisol and testosterone have an inverse relationship. As cortisol goes up, libido goes down. They work in opposition. Okay? So, what are some symptoms of low testosterone in men? Moodiness. Okay? Reacting very emotionally to things. Increased body fat. A very hard time building muscle. Here's some other symptoms of low testosterone that maybe you don't know. Increased risk for dementia. Even brain atrophy. So atrophy is a fancy word for the brain shrinking. Guess what else low testosterone does? It weakens your joints and it significantly impairs your immune system. So, unfortunately, a lot of these testosterone companies, right? Yeah, take our product. But what are they not doing? They're not telling you the root cause. If you just take a product and you don't address the root cause, you're getting 30-40% of the results. That's why you'll hear people say, oh, the supplement didn't work, it didn't work. But did the company tell you how to work with your lifestyle? See, we care. We're going to give you and solve the problem. It's time for you to change. So for my men out there that are having the moodiness, the increased belly fat, the lack of sleep, the lack of drive, fatigue, high blood sugar, you more than likely have low testosterone, which is related to high stress. So, how do we fix this? Number one, we manage stress. nutritionally, lifestyle, kind of we talked about. Number 2, sleep. I don't care, you can take all the hormonal products in the world. If you're not getting sleep, you can't build testosterone. Your body builds testosterone when you sleep. Maybe this is a little personal, but I'm going to go there. One of the telltale signs to see is if you don't have a morning erection. It's true. I know it can be a little embarrassing, but it's true. You're supposed to have it. Okay? Why? Because you produce growth hormone when you sleep. So this is all extremely important. If you want to get the results in the gym, if you want to be healthy and vibrant, you've got to address the low testosterone. So we've kind of addressed the problem, the causes, and now let's give you some products to help that. Well, guess what? Ashwagandha is also in this bundle as well. Why? Because ashwagandha lowers cortisol. And when you lower cortisol, remember I said cortisol and testosterone have the inverse relationship. So ashwagandha will help to lower cortisol, and that's going to increase testosterone. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, we have a product called our testosterone booster. Okay? So that is a blend of herbs with zinc, tribulus, all these herbs to increase follicle stimulating hormone, to increase growth hormone, and to increase not only DHEA production, but testosterone. Now here's a big one, a big killer of testosterone. Fish oil. I know you've all heard of fish oil, maybe for heart health, joint health, but how many of you knew that that fish oil increases not only testosterone, but muscle mass? So I'm going to get a little bit more personal. Research has shown that supplementation with 6 grams of fish oil per day increases testicular size, volume, and erection. I know it can be a little embarrassing, but it's true, and these are things that men care about. Fish oil is also phenomenal for helping you build muscle. How is that possible? You see, fish oil increases the rate of muscle building. We call that muscle protein synthesis. So the research has shown that even if you have 2 groups of people that do the same diet, the same training, the same nutrition, but you give one group fish oil, they actually build muscle quicker. And fish oil is phenomenal for skin health. Fish oil is phenomenal for virtually everything in the body. I could talk to you guys probably for 2 months about fish oil. I'm not going to do it because I don't think our crew or people here could last that long, because I could talk for probably 20 days on it. But what I'm here to get at is I'm telling you products that are fundamental, like fish oil, and I'm telling you the truth behind it. How many of you, when you think of testosterone, you think of fish oil? But companies aren't telling you that. They're just saying, buy this test booster, that's it, I'll see you later. We're getting to the root cause. And I'm here to tell you that fish oil is probably one of the most important supplements for overall human health. Okay? Now, moving forward, what is also very important is our male multivitamin. Now, what is the purpose of a multivitamin? It doesn't mean you don't eat organic fruits and vegetables. The multivitamin ensures that you don't miss any nutritional gaps. So what's the problem with a lot of our food supply today? They are constantly being sprayed with chemicals. We call those glycophosphates. A lot of them are cancer causing. I want to take you back in time. 100 years ago, close, in 1932, there was a senator from Idaho, and he was testifying before Congress. And for those who don't know, Idaho is a state in the United States, and they are very famous for potatoes. Okay? The senator went and testified to Congress, and he said, the chemicals, and this was right before America went into really expanding agricultural production, okay? And he testified, and he said, the chemicals and the pesticides that you're spraying on our crops is making the people sick. I want to stop there for a second. It's making the people sick. I want to leave you with this quote. Nutrient deficient soil, so the soil, meaning there's no vitamins and minerals because we're spraying chemicals on it. So nutrient deficient soils, there's a synergy of life right here. I'm going to take you through the circle of life. Nutrient deficient soil produces nutrient deficient crops. So that means there's no nutrients in the soil, which means the crops don't have the nutrients. And guess what that does? Produces nutrient deficient diseases in human beings. Human beings are meant to get our vitamins and minerals from the soil. We are polluting it. So even if you go and get blueberries and strawberries, and they're not organic, good luck. The amount of vitamin C in orange today is 10 times less than it was 100 years ago. So that's why you need a multivitamin. The multivitamin is going to make sure you're not missing any nutritional gaps, because it is virtually impossible to get all your vitamins and minerals through whole food, especially today with the way that we've destroyed. So the male multivitamin, and this is going to be similar to the women's when we talk about that, it's going to make sure you're not missing nutritional gaps. Vitamins and minerals, they are extremely important for health, for your brain, liver, everything. Now you might say, oh, I took a multivitamin and it was bad. I get that a lot. Hey, Naveen, I took a multivitamin, I didn't get anything. The problem is people think multivitamins are all the same. They're not. If you were to ask me, what car do I drive? And I say, oh, I just drive a car. What are you going to ask me? What brand? What kind? Is it Toyota Corolla or is it a Lamborghini? Right? So different than multivitamins. Are you taking a toxic vitamin that has nothing with synthetic chemicals? Or are you taking high-quality, third-party tested products? We talked about chemicals in the soil. Every product that we have has the highest testing procedures on planet Earth. 99% of the products on the market can't meet our certifications, especially the third-party lab testing. So what does that mean? Third-party lab testing means an independent agency went in there, they took the product without telling us, and they said, okay, let's see if there's any heavy chemicals, poisonous in this. Guess what? In the last year, the FDA has recalled a lot of toxic supplements. Why is that? And some of them are even organic. So the question becomes, how could a supplement be organic but be toxic? I'm going to explain. It's all back to the analogy of the soil. Organic just tests to see, did you spray any pesticides on the soil? Organic does not test to see, was the soil naturally polluted because your supplement was produced from a country that's very toxic and has polluted soils. So what do a lot of supplement companies do? They go for the cheapest ingredient possible, use a lot of fancy marketing to get you to buy it. All of our products, yes, they cost us more, but why? Because they're the most pure quality. Every product has a third-party certificate of analysis, so you can know exactly the amount of chemicals in it. So let me ask you something. Honest question. What's the point in taking a supplement for your health when it could be poisoning you? Unfortunately, there have even been products for pregnant women. We call them prenatal products, right? Prenatal vitamins. Even some of them have had lawsuits because the woman was taking it, it said organic, and then the doctor said, because he was doing blood work, you have high levels of lead in your blood. So do you see why the quality of the products is so important? But going back to the vitamin, it's to ensure that you do not have any nutritional deficiencies that relate to what? The nutrient deficient diseases. So similar to the stress and anxiety bundle for my men out there, we've talked about the problem, we've talked about some symptoms, we've given you some products for a solution. Now it's time to ask you, do you believe a couple dollars per day? Do you believe the amount of money you probably spend on energy drinks, coffee, alcohol, cigarettes, whatever it may be? Do you think that's enough to give you that vitality, that testosterone that you've been missing, that energy you had in your youth? Is it? Because you, again, two options. You can change, let us help you, or you can stay on the same path. You can go two choices. And for the young men in here, I'm seeing more and more of you sit in front of me complaining of low testosterone. More than ever. Health is wealth. I'm going to give you a quote by one of my good colleagues who unfortunately passed away last year. He used to always tell me, pay now or pay later. Invest in your health now, or when you're older, or as Master Jeff said, when it's about to be too late, you're going to see the consequences. It's not to scare you, it's to empower you. Health is truly wealth. It's time for you to have the energy, the drive, the passion, the vitality, the muscle, getting leaner that you've always desired. So that concludes our testosterone bundle. So now I want to talk about something that's very important, especially more so, I would say, in the Middle East, is our cardiovascular and lung bundle, or respiratory health bundle. So why is that important? I was actually just in Jordan at a medical conference lecturing. What's one of the biggest things we do there? It's smoking. My friends in the Middle East will know what I'm talking about. Smoking. I don't think I need to lecture all of you on how bad smoking is. What I want to do is I want to show you how smoking is affecting you beyond probably what you think. So I want to ask you a question. Do you think smoking is making you fat? Just think about that for a second. Do you think smoking is making you fatter? I know we all think of smoking with increased cancer risk, poor lung capacity, but do you think it's making you fatter? Do you think it's worsening your libido, your hormones, like I kind of alluded to? Think about that. The answer is yes. You see, smoking increases inflammation in the body. Smoking increases your stress hormones. Remember cortisol? I told you we're going to talk about that a lot. When smoking increases cortisol, we're going to gain belly fat. What else does smoking do? It destroys your brain. It actually makes your brain smaller. And I understand. I've worked with many people that had addictions, okay, including family. I understand you can't quit smoking tomorrow. I understand it doesn't happen like that. But why are you smoking? Because you have anxiety. Because you're tired. Why are you tired? You'll see I repeat things a lot, and it's for a reason. Because you're not eating properly. You're not sleeping properly. You're relying too much on caffeine. And you're deficient in vitamins and minerals. Guess what smoking does? It robs the body of vitamins and minerals. So even if you are taking the products, you're probably not absorbing all those nutrients. So smoking is a crutch. And for those of you who've been smoking for a long time, you probably don't know what it feels like to have energy without it. So in this bundle, there's phenomenal products. So what are the biggest problems of smoking? Obesity, dementia, inflammation, heart disease. By the way, inflammation is the root cause of every major chronic disease. 10 years ago, people were not acknowledging that, particularly with cardiovascular health. So any physicians on the call, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a very important marker. It's a biomarker. It's a test you can do. It's called a C-reactive protein test. So what is C-reactive protein? It is a protein in the body that when is elevated tells the doctor that you have chronic inflammation. And even diseases like cancer, it is extremely high. Okay? So 10, 20 years ago, we thought the cause of heart disease was too much fat, which can be true, but the real root cause is chronic inflammation, particularly inflammation of the blood vessels. How many of you have heard something called atherosclerosis? I can never say that word right, but atherosclerosis. Okay? Thickening of the arteries. Why? Because the chronic inflammation is caused by the stress, and guess what? Blood sugar. When you have the chronic stress and that blood sugar goes up like we talked about, those sugar molecules, they stick onto the blood vessels. And what happens? Those blood vessels become inflamed. And what does it do? Increases cholesterol and clogs the arteries. We just talked about testosterone and lack of a morning erection, right? Guess what the biggest cause of erectile dysfunction is? Heart disease. There's clogging. There's plaque buildup. Because you're not getting enough healthy fats and you're smoking. So, this is what smoking can do to you. Increase your cancer risk. Dementia. Decrease your cognitive performance. How well you can focus and work. It's going to lower your libido. It's going to weaken your joint health, among many other things. So I want you to think about that. Is smoking making you fat? Is it making you tired? What if I were to tell you over time, there is a solution in a program that you can do to put you in the best position to quit? And that's going to be different for every single person depending on how long they've been doing it. But what if I were to give you that? Because again, you have two choices. If you trust us, because we value ourselves on trust, you will get the solution. You will get the solution. So now let's talk about some of the products. Remember I said the biggest cause, okay. So this is what we're going to do, because I know I can talk a lot. We're going to finish with this, and then we're going to briefly talk about the pet bundle. So the majority of the products in this bundle address inflammation. So we got pomegranate, red superfood, resveratrol, all these beautiful red antioxidant-rich foods to reduce inflammation, enhance antioxidant capacity. So we've talked a lot about human health, but now, in a moment, once we get it on our screen, we're going to be talking about pet health. Yes, your furry, lovable friend. And I'm actually going to have my fiance, Maria, come on the stage momentarily to help talk about that. So, we talked about human health. Now let's talk about our friends. Their lives are short. You really are their life. You are the center of their life. Now it's time to give them the best life possible. So, Maria, if you would like to come on the stage. As she's coming on, she's going to talk about some of the biggest causes of poor pet health. But before she does, I want to address some of the biggest causes of poor pet health. Okay? Number one, this is going to shock you, tap water. How many of you give your pets tap water? Especially in the United States, tap water, you can go Google it, has lots of chemicals that can cause cancer. Number two, the pet food that they're eating is toxic, untested, no vitamins and minerals. Number three, they're not getting enough exercise. And poor gut health and poor dental health. So, Maria, could you just tell us a little bit about how poor dental health can lead the pets to heart disease and other issues? And so for those who don't know, Maria was a director of a major pet hospital, and so she saw a lot of these animals come in. So she's going to kind of tell you nutritionally and what are the biggest risk factors associated with poor pet dental health and gut health.
Thank you, Naveen. So you would find it very interesting that dogs with dental diseases are more likely to develop organ damage and heart failure due to bacteria entering the bloodstream and traveling to the heart. And all that plaque and tartar buildup can cause gingivitis.
So one of the biggest issues is parvo, and so that's poor gut health. And so when that happens, your pet are more susceptible for having bacterial infections. So that is a big cause. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to give you the nutritional solution to give your pets the healthy, vibrant life that you've been dealing with. So thank you all so incredibly much. I'm so excited to be with you all here today and excited to go on this vibrant, wonderful journey with you. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
So how was that? How was the information you received up to now? I hope you enjoy it and something is moving in your brain to understand how your health is important in your life and how you have to take care of yourself. There is so many things we are doing intentionally or, we don't know actually what we are doing. So as my good friend Mr. Khan says, even though to buying the organic products and foods, it doesn't necessarily mean you are in a safe side and you can be in a good mood. We have to understand what is the mechanism and the system is working in our biological body and how we have to create the better life and healthier life for ourselves. So I don't want to talk a lot. I told you about the triangle of happiness. So it started with the wealth, which is not finished yet. Just bear with us. So in next 30-35 minutes, I'm going to introduce you to one of most amazing human being in history. He's going to blow your mind up, and you will hear from him stuff which you cannot believe is happening, and how easy we can shift and transform our life from what we are, who we are right now, into the best version of ourselves in a very simple step. So I'm so grateful to have all these great people around me. All these amazing people around me. I was asking a question, Jeff, why God pushed you into the corner and push you into United States? Why you have to come here? Why you have to stay for a long time? There is a reason for that. Now I understand it and I love it. There was no any other better place for me to could meet some amazing people like these people around me and be close enough together to create a history and helping millions of people. So first of all, I want to thank you. I never thought, we didn't run the ads. We never asked so many people to join us. And incredibly, you shocked us. Even I was talking to the Zoom manager. He said the moment I click the webinar is live, the number of people they attending, and they just was in a queue to jump into the webinar. It was phenomenal. Thanks so much to all of you, every and each one of you, to supporting us. And you are here because you already one step ahead of other people around you. Because you're one step closer to have a healthier and longer life. So, which we're going to discuss about it. So, the second part of this triangle is the wealth, which I don't think so we can cover it in this meeting. So, definitely we're going to have another meeting for that. And the third part is love, which we are talk about it a lot in the next section. So, I'm going to introduce you to one of my great friends, brother, a person who's literally changed my life. And so many people's lives. So we're spending a week together. Actually, his birthday is tomorrow. So officially in front of over 110,000 people, I want to tell you, Ken, happy birthday. We love you, man, for what you create and what you're doing and what you plan for the people around you for the future. And I'm so honored to be the part of that community. And I know we're going to rock and roll and create a huge history in future, near future. So I hope everything is okay, and I'm going to ask Mr. Ken Joslin to come over. He shouldn't supposed to speak, first of all. He is here for you. He's here to support me. He's here to show love. I know he's super busy. Tomorrow is his birthday. Today he's very busy. Yesterday he just finished his mastermind, an amazing, unbelievable mastermind. If you want to know him, just check him out. He is an amazing human being. And he is here with all those stuff is happening around him right now. For only one reason, love. To show love to the people whom you want to support unconditionally and do your best as possible. If Mr. Ken is available online, please add him to the Zoom.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Thank you. Thank you, number one. I'm not sure if Jeff can hear me or not. But actually, today is Jeff's birthday. I know my birthday is tomorrow, but today is Jeff's birthday. And Jeff asked me to share with you guys a little bit. Phenomenal job, but just a moment ago by the doctor explaining all of the different products and the difference between just organic and third-party tested supplements. I want to share with you guys really quick. I'm not even quite sure exactly how much time I have, but I want to share with you this morning about a concept that I created about 2 years ago, called incremental, not monumental. We're talking this morning about health. We're talking about how when you get your health under control, it literally leads you to being able to build wealth and live the life that you desire to live. And about 2.5 years ago, I walked into an umpire. I umpire college baseball, if you know what that is. I'm the guy that calls strikes and outs and all those kind of things. I walked into a camp to try to get a Division I job in the SEC and the ACC as an umpire. And I had a great camp. All the clinicians, the coordinators for the conferences were like, Ken, you're doing a great job, but you've got to lose some weight. And I walked out of that camp, and the first thing I did was I stepped on a scale. And I was scared to even step on the scale. When I stepped on the scale a little bit over 2 years ago, that scale read 308 pounds. And immediately I set a goal. I said, I'm going to do two things. Number one, I'm going to set a goal that I write down twice a day. It's one of the several goals I write down twice a day. And that was to lose 66 pounds. Several months ago, when I got to 60 pounds, I upped that goal from 66 to 86. And when I hit that 80-pound lost mark about a month and a half ago, I bumped that goal from 86 to 106. I wish I could share my before and after picture because it is startling. But one of the things that my good friend Anthony Trucks, who spoke at my Create conference last year, said was this. He said, Ken, I bet if you charted your health journey and the way that you've lost weight, you've really taken your health journey under control. I bet if you took that health journey and you compared it on a graph, I guarantee you it would almost match your business growth and your financial journey, your wealth journey. And so this year as a company, our goal is going to be just over $5 million. And we're about a little bit over 2 to 2.5 years old. We're literally seeing 300 to 400% growth year over year. And when I look at that journey financially in my businesses, it almost matches to the T the health journey that I've been on. And I want to share with you a concept this morning that I think will help you. Obviously, we're talking today about health, wealth, love, our life, what that looks like. And here's the concept that I created I want you to write down. It's called incremental, not monumental. It's small, daily, disciplined decisions over time always equal monumental results. Let me say that one more time. Incremental, not monumental, small, daily, disciplined decisions over time always equal monumental results. My good friend John Maxwell says, if you show me your daily routine, I can tell you how successful you're going to be. Listen, when you lean into and practice the concept of incremental, not monumental, and I don't know where you are on your health journey right now. I don't know where you are on your financial journey right now, but I want to say this to you. A lot of us tend to overestimate what we can do in the short term and underestimate what we can do in the long term. And when you lean into a concept like incremental, not monumental, it's helped me lose over 80 pounds. It's helped me start a business, take that business inside of our GSD community from zero revenue this year to over $5 million. The biggest thing is for this, guys, is it is a daily routine. It is a daily routine. Again, incremental, not monumental, small daily disciplined decisions over time. It's the compound effect, always equal monumental results, regardless of what you want to do. And I know today specifically, we're speaking to health, wealth, and life. Are you living the life that you desire to live? And I want to give you a couple of things that I do. And inside of that incremental, not monumental, listen, when you do the right things every single day, success cannot escape you. Anything that you desire, the things that are inside of your heart, I promise you can come to pass if you'll lean into this simple concept. And I want to share with you really quick. Again, my good friend John Maxwell says, I can tell you how successful you're going to be by looking at your daily or your morning routine. I am a creature of morning routine. Some of the people that you've heard from today are people who have been instrumental. I think my good friend Gary Brackett from 10X Health Systems is going to be speaking today. Gary's a part of our mastermind, as is Master Jeff. And one of the things that I've learned over this journey, this incremental, not monumental journey over the past couple of years is this: the importance of having a morning and a daily routine. And I want to share with you a couple of things that I do every single day. If you're looking to take your health journey to the next level, if you're looking to take your wealth journey to the next level, if you're looking to grow and expand every area of your life where you can live the life that you desire, I'm going to share literally some simple, this isn't the sexy stuff. This is a planner. I'm going to walk you through what I do every single day that has been the backbone, the catalyst. It literally has been the cornerstone of me being able to do what I've done over the past 2 years. If you're ready for this, if you're watching this, I know we have tens of thousands of people watching us right now. And I want to help you today. And I promise you, if you will simply put these steps, these practices into place for the next 30 to 60, even 90 days, it will transform your life. If you're looking to take your health journey, your wealth journey, and your overall life your quality of life to the next level, I want to share with you a couple of quick things that I promise you will change your life. Number one, your daily routine. In my daily routine, there's several things I do in the morning. I've got my goals, my gratitude, my top three. Those are things I do every day. Goals, gratitude, top three. Goals, gratitude, affirmations, and top three. Those are the things I do every single morning. My morning routine is so set in stone, and it has been for over 2 years. Even when I travel, I try to keep somewhat of a resemblance to my morning routine. But when I'm in my home here in Birmingham, Alabama, my morning routine is rock solid. And I want to encourage you, if you're watching today, if you're within the sound of my voice and you do not have a morning routine, I'm going to give you these 4 steps. I promise you will change your life. Number one, goals. If you don't know what you're going after, if you're not writing your goals down a couple times a day, you're never going to get where you really want to be. My good friend and mentor, Grant Cardone, taught me 2 years ago to write your goals down twice a day. You say, Ken, why is that important? Most people write their goals down. Let's just say they write them down once a year, the beginning of the year. The vast majority of people write their goals down once a year at the beginning of the year. They set New Year's resolutions. They'll write goals down. They will never look at them again the rest of the year. Let's just say some people write their goals down twice a month. Let's say they write them down every other week, or let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they write them down every week. Let's say they write them down 52 times. I literally write my goals down twice a day inside my planner. So I know every single day what I'm going after. If you write your goals down twice a day, 365 days, that's 730 times a year you're writing your goals down. And we're talking about a morning routine. We're talking about the importance of understanding and squeezing every ounce of potential out of every minute and every second of every single day. And when you do this, I'm telling you guys, it unlocks something in your future. It unlocks something inside of you. It unlocks, and I know my man Jeff talks about the inner potential zone. It unlocks something in you that has probably never been unlocked before. Now, I'm not talking about motivation. I'm not talking about inspiration. I'm talking about discipline. And this is the one thing that separates the 1% from the 99%, but it's not impossible. I'm telling you, if I can do it, you can do it. So goals, gratitude, affirmations, top three. Goals, writing those down twice a day. Let's say I miss a few days throughout the year. Literally this week in our mastermind, we were in Sundance. Jeff was with us, my good friend Gary Brecka, who's speaking here today, who's partners with Grant Cardone and 10X Health Systems. Let's just say I miss 50 days this year. And it's not 730, but it's only 650 times a year I write my goals down. You should be able to, when I'm writing my goals down 650 times versus somebody who's writing their goals down, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt, say once a week, 52 times. Who do you think is going to win that battle? Which CEO, entrepreneur, business owner do you think is going to win that battle? Somebody, when you walk up and say, Ken, what are your goals? Super simple. Inside my real estate team, it's 1, 16, and 20. One person is team lead. I've handed the real estate. Guys, I've closed over $300 million in real estate in the last 20 years. Over $300 million in real estate. So 1, 16, and 20. One individual, $16 million closed by me, 20 new agents to my team at EXP. On my GSD side, I've got it broken down into 4 numbers, 50, 100, 500, and 1,000. 50 people inside of our mastermind, 100 people inside our community, 500 people inside of at our Create conference in Atlanta in January, and then 1,000 courses sold. Super simple. So when you can explain your goals like that, and if I hit all 4 of those goals, our team hits them, that should be $5.192 million in revenue this year. You should be able to share your goals with people, and they'd be that easy for you to be able to share. Ken, why is that important? Because when we talk about incremental, not monumental, when we talk about a daily routine, because the goal here of this entire call is to help you understand the importance of health, understand the importance of wealth, and understand that when you get those 2 things and they merge and flow in the same direction, you can live the life that you desire to live. You can live the life that you see other people living. So let's say inside of those goals, you've got those goals down. You're writing them down. You know exactly how to say those goals. Goals, gratitudes, and affirmations. Let's talk about that. One of the biggest things I see in entrepreneurs, and again, we just finished our mastermind. I've got about 4 8-figure earners inside my mastermind. I've got dozens of 7-figure earners. 8-figure earners for a lot of you guys are people that are making and clearing over $1 million per month. These are the top 1% of the top 1% of entrepreneurs in our country. Some of the greatest business leaders and greatest human beings on the planet. We just finished this time. And one of the things that I see, regardless of what level they are in their business or in their entrepreneurial journey, is how individuals struggle with limiting beliefs. And Ken, why are limiting beliefs so important? Limiting beliefs, because here's a definition. I want you to write this down. If you've got a pen and paper, and listen, anytime you get on a call like this, where you've got people like Jeff, like the doctor that spoke just a minute ago, guys like me, Gary Brecka, you need to have pen and paper in hand. And I want to share this with you guys real quick. The definition of a limiting belief is something that prohibits you from seeing the potential of your future. And I talk about 6 limiting beliefs a lot: fear, scarcity, insecurity, comparison, shame, and yes, success. Those are the 6 main limiting beliefs I see in people. And the definition of a limiting belief, as I said before, is something that prohibits you from seeing the potential of your future. So how do I get rid of limiting beliefs? Identify, remove, and replace. How do I identify them? When I live a life of gratitude, the first thing I did when I got up this morning is I do what's called mirror work. I get up, and this is part of my morning routine. I look myself in the mirror. Ken, I love you. Ken Joslin, I love you. 10 times I tell myself I love you. By the 6th or 7th time, I'm fist bumping myself in the mirror. Dude, I love you. Dude, I freaking love you. I am creating new neural pathways inside of my brain and rewiring my brain to love myself at a level to where even nobody else in my life loves myself. And let me say this to you real quick. People around you will only love you at the level you love you. Let me say that again. People in your life will only love you at the level you love you. So gratitude and affirmations, identify, removing, replacing those limiting beliefs. So gratitude unlocks our understanding of the limiting beliefs that are in our mind. Affirmations are how we remove those limiting beliefs in our life. I have 5 affirmations. I say them every day, right in the mirror or in the phone. Here's my camera right here with my text from Jeff. I literally will grab my phone with my camera. I will look at myself in my camera. I literally will stare at myself in my camera, and I will do my affirmations. I have 5. Number 1 is I have a millionaire mindset. And if I'm having a rough day, sometimes I'll look and say, Ken, you have a millionaire mindset. Ken, you will live a life where your heart, head, and relationships are in alignment. Why is that affirmation so important? Because what it does is it identifies some of the biggest limiting beliefs in your mind. You'll live a life where your heart's where you dream. It is the vision factory on the inside of your life. It's the one that paints the picture where you go, this is what I want my life to look like. Let me ask you a question to the tens of thousands of people that are watching me. You're listening to my voice right now in whatever language you're listening to it in. I want to ask you a question. What does your ideal life look like? If money was not an obstacle, if the road was paved in front of you and there was nothing standing between you and your ideal life, what does it look like? And I want to encourage you, write that down. Like from the home you have, to the relationship you have, to the car you drive, to what your bank account looks like, to what your health journey looks like. What does your ideal life look like? So in that affirmation, I will live a life where my heart, head, and relationships are in alignment. Heart is my dream factory. It's where I paint the picture. It's where I dream. It's where I go, if there were no obstacles, what would my life look like? Where my heart, head is where my belief system is located. Unfortunately, many of us, our heart, our vision, trip over our limiting beliefs every single day. But when you get your heart and your head in alignment, when you work on your limiting beliefs, fear, insecurity, scarcity, comparison, shame, and success, when you work on those 6 things, what happens is you'll begin to see your heart and your head get in alignment. You'll begin to see things, the things you're dreaming about, the things when you lay in the bed at nighttime and you're closing your eyes and nobody else in the world knows what you're dreaming of or believing God for, you'll begin to see those things come to fruition. Those things will begin to manifest in front of you. I mean, literally right in front of you. And what I learned is this: when that starts to happen in your life, then the right relationships come in your life. The people that you need. For me, Master Jeff's been one of those relationships in the past year. you will see the right relationships come into play. Gary Brecka, again, speaking here today from 10X Health Systems, partners with Grant Cardone. You will see the right relationships come into play. So 5 affirmations that I have. I won't go any further into those affirmations, but goals, gratitude, affirmations, top 3. What are the top 3 things you need to do every day? Like what are the big rocks, as my good friend Randy Garn says? What are the big rocks that need to be moved in order for you to get closer to the goals that you're writing down every single day? This is why your goals are important. If I don't know what my goals are, I'm not going to know what my day needs to look like. So goals, gratitude, affirmations, top 3. The second, now that's my morning routine, my nightly routine. This is what it looks like. I grab my planner again. I write down wins, 1% better, my goals for a second time, and then I do a scoreboard. I rank myself. Okay, how did I live today? So my wins. Are you tracking wins in your life? Every single one of us struggle with limiting beliefs at some level. I don't care if you're an 8-figure earner. I don't care if you're a 9-figure earner in a year. I don't care if you're a 7-figure earner or a mid 6-figure earner, or you're just now starting your entrepreneurial journey and you've never even made 6 figures in your life. Every single one of us are human. We put our pants on the exact same way, and we struggle with those same limiting beliefs at one level or another. It does not matter. So where are you winning today? Take time to look for throughout your day wins, because what it does is it literally rewires your neuroplasticity in your brain. You begin to look for good things that are happening in your life. You begin to look for wins. You begin to look for the amazing things that are happening. They don't have to be big wins. Think first downs, not touchdowns. Now, I know we've got people all over the world that are watching us today. That analogy may not mean as much as it does here in the United States, but small is okay. If you will look for and find small wins throughout your day, what you'll do is you'll build momentum. And when you build momentum, even the impossible seems possible. When you build momentum, listen, write this down. Even the impossible seems possible. But when you don't have momentum, even the possible seems impossible. Even the things that should be easy are very difficult. Even the things that you know you should be able to do seem almost impossible. Wins 1% better. How can I get 1% better today? Now, I do those filtered through my 5 core values: passion, focus, intentionality, teachability, and flexibility. Those are my 5 core values. You don't have personal core values or business core values, I encourage you to get core values. So every single day, 1% better. What was mine? Yesterday, it was mindset. How can I improve my mindset or my focus, the way I attack my goals? How can I improve that 1% better today? My goals a second time, and then my scoreboard. How did I live today on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest? How did I live today? Hold yourself accountable. So that's my morning routine, my nightly routine. The last thing I do on my nightly routine is I grab my planner. I go to the next day and I literally fill out my daily calendar. I know where every minute of the next day is going to go. I don't leave my time to chance. And I've said this for a couple years. When you make money and you spend money, you can go back and earn more money. But when you spend your time, my friend, it's gone forever. And in this health journey, in your wealth journey, trying to get to your ideal life. Again, what does your ideal life look like? If there were no obstacles, if there were no barriers in front of you, what would your ideal life look like? Some of you guys may be on the beach in St. John's. Some of you guys may be in the mountains where we were just at in Sundance, Utah at the Redford Center. One of the most beautiful places, pristine places in the United States. What does that look like? Some of you guys will be in Tahiti. Some of you guys may want to go to Spain. Some of you guys may want to be somewhere on the Mediterranean. What does that look like? What is your ideal life? What does your ideal partner look like? What does your ideal physical condition look like? I want you to have courage today and write it down on a sheet of paper. Like there are no obstacles in front of you. So I shared with you my 2 business goals, my personal goals. Lose 106 pounds. I'm down a little bit over 80 pounds. I've got about 20 pounds to go to break that 100-pound mark. Time with my girls. That's my second goal. And then me, healed and whole. What does that look like for Ken to become the best version of himself, not just for business sake, but for significance sake? 20 years ago, and I'll end with this. 20 years ago, I stepped off a stage with my good friend John Maxwell. First time I spoke behind John. And if any of you guys know John Maxwell, that's a pretty tall order to come on a stage behind John, because John literally sucks all the oxygen out of the room. He's one of the greatest communicators, speakers, and leadership experts in the history of the world. John sold over, I think, 50 million books on leadership development. I spoke behind John, crushed it. My mentor spoke behind me. When we finished, she asked me a question. She said, Ken, can we do lunch tomorrow? I said, you bet we can. So we went to lunch the next day, and this is what Jeannie asked me. She said, Ken, do you want to be significant or do you want to be successful? And I sat there and I kind of pondered the question. I knew what the right answer was. I didn't really know why, but at 30, 31 years old, coming off of a stage in front of 8,000, 9,000 people, speaking sandwiched between two of my heroes, I knew the right answer was was significance. And this is what Jeannie said. She said, Ken, she said, it's better to live a significant life because, as Zig Ziglar says, if I help enough people get what they want, eventually I'm going to get what I want. Listen, significant leaders build others around them so they can win at levels they've never won at. People who chase success use people around them so they individually can win. This is the one thing I love about my friend Jeff. As much or more than any man or any friend that I have in the world, and I've got lots of amazing friends, is the heart to be a significant leader, is the heart to help other people in his life win at levels they've never won at. Guys, listen, I appreciate you guys today. I love this quote in the chat. I'd love for you guys to type in the chat today. Tell me, what does your ideal life look like? What does that look like? And just maybe drop some nuggets in there of what that looks like. But I love this quote. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And again, my good friend John Maxwell wrote a book called Failing Forward. Listen, when you try something, I was on a call yesterday with my good friend Dean Graziosi. Tony Robbins, the one and only Tony Robbins, interviewed Matthew McConaughey yesterday. I was actually in the airport on the way home, so I was watching him on the Zoom call just like you are today. And Matthew talked about the three regrets, or the three attempts at success or significance, whatever the word he said was number one, you don't even try. And then you face regret because you didn't try. The second thing is you try and fail, but you didn't really fail because you learned. The third thing is you try and you actually succeed. So which one do you want to do today? In the words of Matthew McConaughey, my good friend Dean Graziosi, what does that look like for you today? Are you going to attempt to win? Are you going to attempt to do something that it can be absolutely terrifying? But I promise you, if you lean into the concept of incremental, not monumental, small daily disciplined decisions over time always equal monumental results. Success cannot escape you if you do the right things every single day. Guys, thank you so much for having me here today. I guess my good friend Jeff's going to come back on the stage. I've got 2 or 3 monitors in front of me, trying to figure out where we're going from here. But anyway, guys, when you're ready to go ahead and take back over, you can. I want to encourage you guys in your daily routine. I want to encourage you. Goals, gratitude, affirmations, top 3. So write that down. Goals, gratitude, affirmations, top 3 in the morning. And then at night, it's going to be wins. How do I get 1% better? My goals for the second time, my scoreboard, and then my calendar for the next day. And I promise you, if you'll walk through those 4 things, it will be a game changer in your life. Guys, thank you for the opportunity for being here today.
Thank you, Ken. I love you, man. I know you're super busy. You jump here to help us and, just spray and, just share some of your wisdom with the people who's watching you here. So I just wanted to give you a little information about what's going on right now here. We are over 6,000 people on Zoom call and over 104,000 people that are watching us through the streaming channel. It's 110,000 people watching us right now. Thanks so much for your support, your help, and to being here. So now I'm gonna have a small surprise for you, okay? So we are in a live event. So for those who knows me, so we are in this industry for the past 22 years. So there is a lot of things happening. There is a live event, okay? If we got a problem as a human, Oh, this is very important. If we have a problem as a human, so we always know there is another human to talk to or find out some solution for that. But the pets and animals, they have only one hope and one love. And it's us. The whole, their whole life, word, whatever you want to call it, is the owner of that pet. And they just look at you for anything they wanted, and they hope you understand what is their need. And one of the most important needs for the pets and animal is the right nutrition and the health care, not the right physician, doctor, hospital. They don't need it. They are follow the same pattern as the human biology. We are, as a human, we can cure, we can rebuild, and we can fix anything is happening in our body, at least up to 99.9%. As long as we know what's going on, what we needed, what kind of raw material we are missing, and how our body mechanism works, and we put a little bit thought into it and care into it. So, and to know what you have to do exactly. So then she came to me and said, I want to talk. Woo! I want to talk. And I see there, the Navin Khan coming there said, you sure? Do you really want to do that? You don't need to do that. I said, no, I want to do. I said, make sure you want to do that. I said, definitely I want to do it. And I love, how people can change if they stay around the right people. The environment around you, the people, the circle you are spending your most of your time with, how they can impact your future. I was the guilty of choosing the wrong people around me, and I paid a bad and a huge price for that. I don't care. It's the past and a great experience for me. But now I understand we are the one who we choosing the right people around us. The people who they are there for you, not from you. This is the exact word of Ken Joslin. My brother, be there for people, not from them. And it's changed the whole journey of my mindset. I said, I don't care anymore. But this is our decision, not our condition to change our life. Write it down, please. This is our decision, not our condition to save our life. The decision we're making every single day is creating the future and a moment for us right now. Our human brain creating more than 30,000 thoughts a day. 30,000 thoughts a day. How many of those thoughts you are controlling it? If you learn the art of how to control and creating the positive thought in your subconscious, is going to reflect your life immediately. So there's a topic I asked Mr. Nami Khan to talk about it. It's how the soil affecting on our life. Soil is the reflection of our gut. As he said, it's not important to go in a market and buy some organic food. It's important those organic food in which condition they grow. So if you wanted to work, if you wanted to have work with some companies or some people, or if you want to have a healthy life, make sure what you are doing. Because it's so simple. As long as you know, it's so simple. If you know what you have to do, this step is very basic. You just need to find out the right people, right companies, right supplement, right product to lean on. Because the hard job, the research, I was talking, with Mr. Nami Khan in the car. He said he's creating a custom bundle and nutrition supplement. And he said, I'm working on this for the past 15 years. My response to him was, it's amazing. You're doing a great job. Please keep doing it. Create something unique for the world. Try to change the world, but let us to sell it. I said, we know how to sell it, and you create it. And I was thinking right now, 15 years of somebody's experience, it means those supplements gonna save so many people's life to be dedicated to create something and investing the most valuable things you have in your life, which is your time. Put your life in front of the line and create something 15 years working on it. Just look at the level of passion, level of trust to himself, and level of the future he sees. These are the people you have to hanging with. These are the people you should find and surround yourself. Okay. So before I'm asked, my best friend, good friend, best human being in the world. So I don't know what kind of word I have to use for him. Just let me re-add just a little bit. So I wanted you, please. I hope you were here to encourage my good friends. Do some encouragement and some love through the chats to our good friend, Miss Maria.
Thanks.
Of course.
Thanks, Jeff. That was beautiful, beautiful words. And thank you all. So we're going to continue on the pet bundle. And so I'm going to let my lovely fiance kind of talk about what we were finishing up with. What are some of the biggest negative effects of poor dental health, and kind of just share her experience in the vet world.
Well, so it happens that it is known that dogs who have oral diseases are more likely to develop heart diseases and organ damage and traveling to the heart. Now, why is it so important for a pet to have extremely healthy oral health? Well, it turns out that over time, the oral health can further illness your pet, and it can also make their lives forward. Because all that tartar and all that plaque buildup can eventually enter the heart and the bloodstream. And besides dental health, another one of the major components in a pet's health is heart health. How can we improve that? By proper nutrition, exercise, and regular checkups, regular comprehensive visits at the vet, like the ones that I used to work at. It is very important for your pet to get routine checkups. And also affection and reducing stress in your pet's environment is another component that'll help them live a long time, because believe it or not, it is not just about making the pet also help our lives, make our lives longer. How is that? Believe it or not, owning a pet can actually decrease depression. It can decrease anxiety because they bring you so much happiness. And they also decrease loneliness and isolation by teaching you compassion. I love my dog Luna more than life itself. Well, next to my fiance, she is my world, and I would give my world to her. But how do I do that? By making her a part of my world much longer, by making her much healthier. Because she might be a big part of my world, but I'm her world. Well, that's how pets see us. To us, they're just a big part of our world. But to your pet, you are their world. Not only should you help them be in your world longer, but also keep yourself healthy by keeping your pet healthy. Be in their world longer and help them be in your world longer. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, so just finishing on what we were talking about, that emotional well-being, right? So our bundle is designed to be that one component of what Maria was talking about. The love, the affection, being their world. So you have to give them the nutritional foundation with the love and the care, and it's a win-win situation. As she says, our dog Luna is our life. Your pet is your life. So now what we would want you to do is to apply the affection techniques, apply the lifestyle techniques like avoiding the tap water, the toxic dog food, and then also giving them the most purest pet products on the market. What's the point in taking a pet vitamin that has a lot of chemicals in it to protect your pet when it could be poisoning them? So it is a beautiful synergy. So our pet bundle is here to help you have your dog thrive and to give your pet the life they deserve because you are their life. Thank you so much. Thank you, Maria. So now we're going to talk about a very important topic, gut health. I'll say that again, gut health. We talked about some of the pillars of health, what would disrupt it: chronic stress, excessive cortisol, low libido, lack of sleep, poor nutrition, eating toxic micronutrient deficient food, consuming toxic supplements. Actually, during the break, we were talking to some of our cameramen, and they were showing me various supplements they were taking. One of them was actually showing me a fish oil brand that's very popular. It's even more expensive, but it actually is very low quality. So you see, companies will spend more money on marketing versus quality, and we are the antithesis of that, or the opposite of that. So now let's talk about the gut health bundle. We talked about immune health. Did you know 70% of your immune system is from your digestive tract? Poor gut health is the center, amongst the other things that I talked about, of chronic disease. The information that we know today about gut health was not around 10 years ago. The area of gut health with the brain, we call it the gut-brain axis. More recently, literally 2 weeks ago, that's how on top of things I stay, the relationship between gut health and building muscle. How many of you thought that you needed to make sure you had a good digestive tract to build muscle? The connection of gut health to your brain. Here's another one. The connection of gut health to your skin. We're actually going to talk about that. Skin health and gut health go hand in hand. The connection between gut health and allergies. How many of you suffer from chronic allergies? Which often can be a genetic mutation as well. Not so much an allergy. So let's kind of talk about this bundle. What are some of the root causes of poor gut health? Well, you have poor digestive enzyme function. So digestive enzymes are these little workers that help you digest food. So things like pineapple, they have high amounts of enzymes called bromelain. If you guys consume a lot of protein for my bodybuilders or my gym goers out there, and you're not getting enough enzymes, you're probably having symptoms such as bloating, gas, diarrhea, loose stool. I know these are gross, right? Actually, your bowel movements, I know we're getting into some, embarrassing topics, but your bowel movements actually tell a lot about your health, okay? So what are some of the biggest symptoms of poor gut health? Brain fog, allergies, acne. How many of you thought acne was related to poor gut health? Absolutely. So when your gut health is disrupted, everything is disrupted. What is one of the biggest killers of poor gut health? What are we constantly prescribed every time we're sick? Antibiotic, antibiotic, antibiotic. Now don't get me wrong, antibiotics do have their place. Okay, especially in life-threatening situations. The problem is chronic antibiotic prescription. A lot of, I don't want to say doctors, but it's true, overprescribe antibiotics. And so what happens? We have antibiotic-resistant diseases, right? So, what do antibiotics do? They kill the good, but also the bad bacteria. So the problem is we're constantly taking all these antibiotics, but we're not building up our army. Your digestive tract has trillions of bacteria. And we're finding more and more information. There's a whole the amount of information we're finding about the gut health is overwhelming. Now, When you have poor gut health, you cannot digest and assimilate the nutrients, hopefully it's good nutrients, if most people it's eating toxic food, into energy. Poor gut health leads to poor, literally every metabolic, physiological system in the body, Now, Jeff was talking about poor gut health in the soil. What do we put onto the soil? All those pesticides, we're spraying them, right? A lot of those we call glycophosphates, or we call them xenoestrogens. So xeno is a Latin word for foreign. And so these chemicals, especially in men, because they have estrogen in them, they actually make men lower testosterone and build more body fat. So by spraying these pesticides into the soil, when we consume the crops that are grown from that toxic soil, it kills our gut health because those pesticides kill gut health. They kill the bugs that are trying to catch onto the crops, but they also kill your gut health. So now let's talk about some products for gut health that are really important. These three products actually work in beautiful synergy. And what I also recommend people to do is if you suspect you have a dairy, gluten, wheat, whatever allergy, go on an elimination diet. If you think you're susceptible to a lot of these common allergens, take them out for a month, reintroduce them, and see how your body reacts. So let's go kind of through the products. The first one, maybe one of you've heard of it, but you've never heard of it for gut health, and that's going to be glutamine, our glutamine powder. So glutamine, yeah, you may have said, Naveen, I've heard of that for bodybuilding, for building muscle. But glutamine, what it does, it is actually very important for gut health. So here's why. Glutamine is the most abundant amino acid in your muscle tissue, okay? So what happens when we're working out a lot, we're not getting enough protein, and I don't mean just from animal, vegan, all of the proteins, is our body will actually take glutamine from our muscles. Why? Well, guess what your body's number one function is? To keep that immune system going. It does not care about being big, lean, nice muscular body. It cares about keeping you alive. So your body will actually take glutamine from the muscle tissue because glutamine is a very important fuel for the immune system. Remember I said that the immune system and the gut go hand in hand. 70% of your T lymphocytes, they're actually made from your gut. So when you supplement with glutamine, you actually enhance gut health. And glutamine actually helps to give energy to these little workers in your small intestine called your microvilli. So glutamine is just that fuel source. So I think everyone should be supplementing with glutamine. It is phenomenal. The other two products are probiotics and digestive enzymes. So probiotics, I know you've all heard of it, but probiotics are essential for optimal human health. It is, again, one of those fundamental supplements, along with vitamin D and fish oil that we kind of alluded to. So probiotic supplementation is going to make sure that you have the proper immune army in your digestive tract. Now, I want to talk about something that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to gut health. And I know this because I've helped psychiatrists build their brands. And that is depression and anxiety. So you might say, how is low gut bacteria or poor gut health related to depression? So I'll explain it to you. How many of you have heard of the the neurotransmitter dopamine, right? It's the feel-good hormone. We have dopamine, we get happy, right? Well, for dopamine to be produced, it needs a precursor. And that precursor is a neurotransmitter called serotonin. So remember that analogy of the orange and the orange juice? Think of serotonin as the orange and dopamine is the juice. Dopamine is the juice. I need to squeeze it. So what I'm getting at is this. There is a correlation between depression and low gut health, or poor gut bacteria, especially if you're chronically prescribed antibiotics and you're eating food that has pesticides that kill healthy bacteria. Right? Alcohol also kills healthy bacteria. So what am I getting at? Back to the whole serotonin conversation. You need healthy gut bacteria to produce serotonin. And you need serotonin to produce dopamine, to feel good. But if I don't have healthy gut bacteria, I can't produce serotonin. And if I can't produce serotonin, I can't produce dopamine. And then if I have low levels of dopamine, I'm going to have higher levels of depression and anxiety. And more than likely, we'll have to go on a psychotropic medication. That's a medical term, okay? Or SSRI, these antidepressants, which a lot of them, you can look at the literature, do cause negative side effects, okay? So that is why, again, what am I doing? I'm giving you novel, untalked about benefits of probiotics or our products. And we're telling you what's causing the problem, how to fix it, and how we can work together. It's not just the supplements, it's addressing the root cause. And when you do, it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. Now, the final product is the digestive enzymes. We kind of alluded to a little bit. So digestive enzymes are just these workers that help you metabolize food. So some people might say, oh, I have a slow metabolism. I gain weight easily. And that could be very much true, especially if you have the high stress, the cortisol, the high blood sugar that we talked about. But did you know that being deficient in digestive enzymes increases your susceptibility for allergies, but also slows down your metabolism because you need digestive enzymes, similar to your B vitamins, to help you metabolize food. People don't realize this. When you're eating food, technically you're burning calories. Now, that's like, what do you mean I'm burning calories, I'm eating food? Well, it takes energy to digest, assimilate, and metabolize the food. Well, to digest and assimilate and metabolize the food, you need workers, and those are B vitamins and enzymes and coenzymes. For anyone that's on, and you can know, especially if you're on a high protein diet and you have a lot of gas, that's a big sign. If you're bloated after a meal, that's a sign. If you retain water in your cheeks after a certain allergen, that's a sign. Now, if you're like me and you have a peanut allergy and you have a more severe reaction, that's different. But that's just the case. So, gut health is super important. Unfortunately, a lot of our food today is disrupting it. It's up to you to take the lifestyle recommendations, utilize the proper products, and to change your life. Because for those of you that do have IBS, that do have horrible gut issues, I know it sounds cliche, I'm saying change your life, but I mean it. Now, why am I saying I mean it? Because I've helped people do this. You might not realize this. I've had people come up to me who couldn't sleep more than 3 hours at a time. I get them to sleep for 8 hours after a year and a half working with me. They cry, they hug me, say, thank you for changing my life. I've had people with gut issues, acne, eczema. Those are all symptoms of gut issues. We get rid of it. Thank you for changing my life. So when I mean change your life, I mean change your life. It's not a cliche. It's not a sales pitch. It's experience from real life situations. So you have to ask yourself as we go down, is it time for you to get rid of your gut issues? To get rid of your acne? To get rid of your allergies? To get rid of that bloating? You know, what's unfortunate is a lot of times if you are bloated, you're going to look 3-4 times fatter than you actually are. Even if you're lean and ripped. I've seen bodybuilders bloated on stage because they have all the gut issues. So, are you ready to change? I know you are. But it's time to address and kind of capture these aha moments. Because I know many of you probably didn't connect allergies to gut health, poor skin health to gut health, depression to gut health. So now that I'm showing you how the body is connected, and if you're paying close attention, you'll see how I'm connecting all this. So again, you have to ask yourself, is a few bucks a day, is the amount of money that you would spend on alcohol, whatever it is, smoking, coffee, things that aren't benefiting you, are you ready to invest in your health? Because health is wealth. You can't buy it. You can buy, like I said earlier, the supplements, you can buy the trainers, you can buy the coaches. At the end of the day, you have to do it. Just like Master Jeff said, you have to have the burning desire within to change. Similar to your environment when it comes to life, social life, and it's very true, you are the company you keep, it is no different than the nutritional environment you create for your body. Your mind, your body is a direct side effect of the environment that is, whether that's the people you're around or the food you're giving it and the supplements. So you can take care of your body, give it the right nutrients, the right sleep, surround yourself with the right people, or you can be around people that bring you down. You can continue to eat bad, and you continue to feel like terrible. And when I talk about eating healthy, I'm not talking about eating a boiled piece of chicken and broccoli. I'm talking about eating real food. Food that we were designed to eat. Fruits and vegetables, healthy meat, protein, salmon, whatever. If it wasn't, this is how you know food's healthy. Was it here 200 years ago? Was there Coke 200 years ago? Was there Reese's Pieces? Was there honey buns? No. 90% of the chronic disease accelerated growth has a lot to do with the 90% increase in processed foods that are man-made, that we're not designed to eat. And to be quite honest, a lot of these foods are designed chemically to be addictive. Why? It's the perfect business model. It is. So, it's time for you to change. It's time for you to give your body that positive environment. Nutritionally, spiritually, emotionally, with your network, all of it. It all goes hand in hand. So now what I want to do is I want to finish off with one of my biggest passions, which is going to be, it's our sport performance and brain health bundle, but really on one of the supplements that I made my name on in the research world, and that's going to be creatine. So we're going to be talking about this as it's loading up. So many of you, we talked about the fundamentals, and we did this for a reason. How many people, what's the biggest reason people want to go to the gym? I want to build muscle, I want to burn fat. That's great, and we want to help you get there. But what people don't do is they don't address the foundation. I talked about, you want to lose body fat, you got to sleep. You want to lose body fat, you got to manage your stress. You want to build muscle, you got to optimize your hormones, right? The problem, what I see all the time, people want to go to the gym and they just want pre-workout, and we're not saying pre-workout is not good, it is, and our pre-workout is phenomenal, and we'll talk about that. But the problem is they just address energy. They spend more money on the caffeine than they do on the fundamentals. They're not addressing the root reason why they're so tired. And that's why today, on purpose, I saved this bundle for last. Because I wanted to address the foundation. If I had just started and said, hey, you want to build muscle and burn fat, buy this bundle, without addressing everything that we talked about today, we wouldn't be doing you a good service. We would be doing what most of the supplement industry has been doing, especially within the bodybuilding community, and that's just promoting gym packages without addressing the root causes of so many issues today. So, now that we've addressed the foundation, let's get to the fun part. Building muscle, burning fat, looking lean, what everyone wants to do. So, this bundle is designed to do 3 things. Boost your performance in the gym, and enable you to build muscle a little bit faster, boost your brain health, we're going to talk about that, and help you not only get better results in the gym, but do it at a faster rate. So, we'll go through the the products that you guys are more familiar with, and then I'll finish it off with creatine. So, in this bundle, we actually will help you get extra protein in. We have a phenomenal cold filtered whey protein. So, when whey protein is cold filtered, what does that mean? You see, cold filtered means that when the whey was extracted or isolated from the dairy, they used a cold filtration process. Now, why does that matter? Well, when you use a high heat process, you actually, remember that term bioavailability? How well can your body recognize the food in nature? When you use a cold filtered process, you do not have to heat up the protein molecules as much. So you don't do something called denature, meaning you don't make them unstable. Cold filtered means it's less processed and it's more bioavailable. Now, here are some benefits of cold filtered whey protein that you probably didn't know. Did you know that cold filtered whey protein has high amounts of a very important antioxidant? A lot of doctors, biologists, chemists call this antioxidant our master antioxidant, meaning that if we have low levels of it, not only are we more susceptible to disease, but we more than likely have chronic disease, and this has been statistically shown. And that master antioxidant is called L-glutathione. Not glutamine, L-glutathione. It's our master antioxidant. So, high levels of L-glutathione are correlated or associated with healthier levels of immunity and longevity. So what are low levels of L-glutathione associated with? Poor immunity, increased susceptibility to pathogens and viruses, and increased susceptibility to poor bone health, right? So whey protein, the cold filtered, has that naturally occurring. What happens when you get a cheaper, and actually sometimes it's even more expensive, a typical whey protein that's high heated, you denature the proteins and you destroy the L-glutathione. Naturally occurring cold filtered whey protein also has slight amounts of omega-3 fatty acids. So the same healthy fats in the fish oil. Who knew that? Cold filtered whey protein also has a healthy fat that many people, I know especially in the Middle East, they market it for burning fat. It's called CLA, which stands for conjugated linoleic acid. So CLA is a healthy fat that can actually help you burn fat a little bit more. But it's naturally occurring in the whey protein. But if I use the high heat, which a lot of companies do because it's cheaper, I'm destroying the bioavailability, and I'm destroying some of the really awesome qualities of that whey protein. Now, in regards to immunity, everyone thinks the main function of protein is to build muscle. That's false. Yes, you need protein to build muscle, but that's not the main focus of protein. It's actually your immune system and your DNA replication. Every antibody in your body needs protein to create new antibodies. Your RNA, which is your ribonucleic acid, to turn into DNA, needs protein. Protein is vital for hormonal health, the communication of cells. It's important for virtually everything in the body. So, if you're working out hard and you're not getting enough protein and you're constantly sore, you're actually increasing your risk for getting sick. Remember we talked about glutamine, how your body will use that from the muscle tissue during times of immune stress? That's what's going to happen. Low protein intake is also associated with obesity. Now, when I say protein intake, I'm not telling you to become a bodybuilder and guzzle protein powder. I'm talking about protein as a whole. Protein from all sources, whether it's the powder, whether it's our whey protein, our vegan protein, which we're going to talk about, whether it's through wild-caught fish, grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken. It's protein in general, whether it's from collagen. Low protein intake is associated with a lot of diseases. So we recommend moderate protein intake. The more active you are, the more you need. Also, protein is going to help you stay full, so you're not going to be as hungry as much. Okay? So now I want to talk about the vegan protein. But what's awesome about this vegan protein is it's not only a vegan protein, but it also has an immunity complex. It's got something called our superfood complex. So you'll see shortly on the screen, it has things such as goji berry, or organic mangosteen, acai berry, pomegranate, all of these wonderful superfruits. So not only are you getting the vegan protein to build the muscle, but you're also getting the powerful, science-backed, evidence-based superfoods. So it is a 2-in-1 combo. Now let's talk about pre-workout. It's a product that everyone knows. And pre-workouts are fine as long as you don't overdo them. Because remember what I talked about. Chronic caffeine intake increases cortisol. So what separates our pre-workout? Well, do you guys remember I was talking about GABA to calm you down before bed? Guess what? This pre-workout has GABA in it. Now you might say, why would you have a supplement you take at night before you go to the gym? Well, you see, GABA is not sensitive to just sleep. GABA just calms you down. So GABA, when you take this product, you will get a little bit of energy boost from the little caffeine that we have, but it's going to calm your brain down so you can focus. Go talk to any elite athlete. Go talk to any bodybuilder. They will tell you when they're in the gym, especially bodybuilders, they are so focused on their form and optimally contracting muscle. And that takes a powerful combination of the central nervous system, your brain, and your muscles. Or more specifically, we call them motor units. Basically, a muscle fiber with a nerve. Anyways, not to bore you to death with the science, what am I saying? If you cannot focus in the gym and you really want to get the best results, it's not going to happen. So you need a supplement to help calm you down. That's why our pre-workout is unique, and it tastes delicious. And it also has a little bit of creatine, which we're going to talk about in a second. So now, let's finish off with creatine. This is my research background, my passion. So many of you might say, Creatine? Alzheimer's? What is that? I thought creatine was for bodybuilding and beefing up and building muscle. Yes, it is. Creatine is, the analogy I like to give, it's a hidden gem that we have been so unaware of for the past 30 years. So what do I mean? Creatine is probably one of the most studied sports supplements, okay? If you actually look at creatine worldwide, the price has gone up. But why? It's gone up more than any other supplement. And I'm here to tell you it's not a supply chain issue. Here's why. I'm here to tell you creatine will be as popular as probiotics are for gut health, and creatine will be as popular for brain health. So what is creatine? What does it do? Creatine helps to create something called ATP. Just bear with me, I promise it'll make sense. ATP is the energy currency in the body. So here in the United States, I need the dollar to exchange for goods and services, correct? In the body, every time the body has a reaction, whether I'm talking, breathing, lifting weights, you need ATP, okay? So creatine helps you get ATP faster. It's like me paying you more. I pay you more, I pay you quicker, you can spend faster and spend more. So we know that creatine is good for muscle cells because it generates ATP. So the thing that we were all oblivious to was, okay, we know muscle cells need ATP. What about other organs in the body? So 2 years ago, me and my group of colleagues, we were published in the Journal of Diseases, and we found in our literature review that if you look at the brain of someone that has Alzheimer's and dementia, they have 83% less creatine in their brain than a normal human being. So why is that important? Because causation is not always correlation. So if we know that our muscles need ATP, and we know that our brains need ATP to function optimally, and we know that the brains of someone that has Alzheimer's and dementia is impaired, anatomically and physiologically, and we know that they have 84% less creatine in their brain, could that make us think? Yeah. Here's another thing. I'll take it one step further. There is even research to show, now we need more studies, but the initial research to show that things such as autism, ALS, even ADHD, are correlated with the deficiency of creatine. And what do I mean? We're going to go a little deep science in this, so bear with me. There is a transporter in your brain. It's called your creatine transporter. Think of that creatine transporter as the bus, okay? The bus that's going to take the kids to school. So the creatine transporter is the bus, the kids are the creatine, and the school is your brain, okay? I need that bus to drive the kids to school so they can learn. In the brain, your body needs that creatine transporter to take the creatine, which is the kids, to school, which is your brain. Okay? The same thing. Research has shown that there is some conditions where that creatine transporter or that bus has a genetic mutation, or that bus engine broke down. If the bus breaks down, how are the kids going to get to school and how are they going to learn? If the creatine transporter has a genetic mutation that prevents it from taking creatine into the brain, how is the brain going to use creatine? And what's even more interesting is not only does the brain of someone that has Alzheimer's have very little creatine, they also can't metabolize glucose, which is the form of sugar. And in fact, there's a new type of diabetes called type 3 diabetes, where it's people that don't have diabetes, but for whatever reason, their brain can't use glucose. And that is a hallmark early signal of dementia. So what am I getting at? What I'm saying is, yes, I understand for this bundle you want to get the results in the gym, but research has shown that if you give creatine to healthy people, it boosts cognitive performance and even potentially immunity. We need more research with the immunity component. So what am I saying? Boost your performance in the gym, but also at school. Creatine actually comes naturally from meat, okay? But the problem is a lot of the meat, especially if it's not healthy, organic, it's low quality, a lot of chemicals. So creatine is vital for brain health. You will notice a boost in your cognitive performance, and I believe creatine is the future because I know there are companies right now that are actually trying to turn it into a pharmaceutical drug. That's how you know a supplement works, when big pharma tries to turn it into a drug. So, creatine. I don't mean to be biased, but I think it's phenomenal. Now, the only situation in which we would have to monitor the intake is if you had some type of pre-existing kidney issues, but that is only in rare situations. For the average person, even with those dementia, I've seen it work wonderful. So, you have to ask yourself, all those other bundles, the foundation, that's going to set you up for success in the gym. That's going to give you the energy to go to the gym. That's going to help you burn fat and build muscle. Think of the original bundles, the stress, the sleep, the blood sugar management, the gut health. Those are the foundation. The gym is the reflection of addressing the foundation. So now, not just with this bundle, but you have to ask yourself, are you ready to change your life, but to do it in a smart, scientific, and evidence-based way? And that is addressing the root cause, identifying the symptoms, and addressing it with the proper supplementation, training, and nutrition. And so now, what we're going to do is we're going to just talk about Buildgoal as a whole. So what separates us? Transparency. We are fully transparent about our products. We don't hide anything. The most strictest standards on the market. 99% of the competition, they can't meet our trust badges. Third-party lab tested. Made in a GMP, which stands for Good Manufacturing Practices Facility. Made in an FDA-registered facility. NSF certified. Made in the USA. Now, why is that important? Well, unfortunately, there are some countries where they use very inhumane labor to produce supplements. You can be rest assured that all of our products were not only made in the most strictest facilities, but they were utilizing proper labor and not doing it in any inhumane way. And finally, we address the root cause. Ask yourself this. For those of you that maybe buy supplements, have you ever gone on a website or on a content like this? And what do they normally do? They tell you, oh, you have poor immune health. You have stress. You have anxiety. Buy my product. What do they not do? Do they ask you the questions? Do they get to know you? Do they make you realize the issue? Do they make you understand what's causing it outside of just taking a product? Think about that. I want you to go home, whatever product you're taking, go on their website. See if the product will tell you how to solve the problem, but does they tell you why you have the problem? They don't tell you why you have the problem, because if you know why you have the problem, you might not come back. They want you to rely on the supplements as a crutch. We want you to use the supplements to thrive as part of a vibrant life, as part of everything that Master Jeff talked about. So, I hope all of you had a good time today. I love talking to all of you. I'm super excited to work with all of you and to help change your life and to give you and bring you the best version of yourself spiritually, financially, and from a health standpoint. Thank you.
Super excited. I just got a text from our guy Gary Brecka, who's supposed to be here. Look at here. Gary's hanging out with my guy Brandon Dawson from Cardiovascular Ventures and Hall of Famer Ray Lewis. So they've been on a jet. We've been trying to get Gary zoomed in this morning, but unfortunately, I guess the internet on the jet's not as good as he normally has it. So I'm not sure if he's going to join us. He's actually speaking at the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremonies this morning. So he's actually on a jet. I'm getting a text from Gary right now. He's actually sitting on a jet right now with Ray Lewis. Oh, he said if they can get on, he's going to get Ray Lewis, who's the NFL Hall of Famer. I've been to the Hall of Fame for a long time. One of the best pro football players in America that they've had. So, guys, we talked a lot this morning through Buildgoal. We've talked a lot about health. We've talked a lot about wealth. We've talked about overall life. I just want to take a minute because we jumped back on to Doc just a minute ago and Jeff. I just wanted to ask you guys some questions. And great leaders, I heard this from John Maxwell 20 years ago. Great leaders ask great questions. And I'll tell you, some of the questions I think that are the most important aren't questions that we ask other people, but I think that they're questions that we ask ourselves. So I want to ask you guys this morning, if you could, and I'm going to pick right up where I left off probably 30 or 45 minutes ago. If you could paint the picture of what you want your life to look like with no limitations. If I literally handed you a check and said, here's a blank check, what do you want your life to look like? You can write that check out for any amount that you want to write it out to. What would your life look like? And here's what I want you to do in the chat. I don't know how many people we've got in the chat right now. Hundreds on this chat, tens of thousands watching online. If you've got the opportunity to be able to be in a chat, I want you to just write down, just type in me, just write your name in there right now. My ideal life looks like, and then I want you to write some things down. And so what we have inside of my community is we call our core five: faith, physical condition, relationships, business, and finance. And we go in that order, faith being number one. What does your ideal life look like with your faith? What does that look like for you? In your life, it may look different than mine. It may look different than your neighbor, and that's okay. It may look different than your coworker. Absolutely. It's absolutely okay. But here's what I want you to ask yourself. In what we call our core five: faith, physical condition. What does your ideal life look like in your physical condition? Myself, I'm down over 80 pounds. I've got about 22 more pounds to lose to be at my 106-pound goal where I want to get to. I want abs. Like I want to get to about a 36 waist. I'm about a 38 right now. I was a 42 to a 44. That's how many inches and pounds I've lost over the past couple of years. But I want 6-pack abs. And I tell people this all the time. Listen, when I get abs, I'm never wearing a shirt again. Like, I'll be on a Zoom call. I may put a jacket on, but I'm not wearing a shirt. I want to show my abs off. But and I'm joking, but what does your ideal health journey look like? What does that look like for you? How does Buildgoal play a part in that for you? How does, for me, obviously we're waiting on Gary, trying to get Gary in on the call right now. But how does the supplements, the methylation test, all the things that Jeff and the doctor talked about this morning, how do all those things play a part in your life? What does that look like for you today? So faith journey, your physical condition, your health journey, your relationships. What do your ideal relationships look like? And let me ask you this. You may have some relationships right now that are strained. Like, they may not be where they need to be or where they're supposed to be. Jeff mentioned this earlier. It's one of the quotes that I talk about when I speak on stages all across the country with guys like John Maxwell, guys like Ed Milet, some of huge influencers here in America, Grant Cardone. One of the things I say a lot when people ask me, Ken, how do you get the circle of people that you have around you? How do you have such amazing, amazing friends? And I tell people all the time, be a leader that wants something for people, not from people. Let me repeat that, and you may want to write this down. Be a leader that wants something for people and not from people. And when you're the leader that doesn't want anything from anybody, but your whole heart is to help them not only become the best version of who God desired or intended them to be, but for them to be able to live their best life and achieve their goals. So faith, physical condition, relationships. What do those relationships look like? If you've got strained relationships, I want to encourage you to do three things. And I call these the three characteristics of a servant leader. Number one, put other people's needs before your own. It's amazing what happens when you want something for them, not from them. Number two, do things right the first time. Live with a high level of excellence in everything you do. I was at the grocery store this morning. I got out of the gym, went over to the grocery store this morning. I was shopping, and the car pulled up next to me, and this lady opened the car door, and she was getting her kids out. And I looked inside. It was the filthiest car I've ever seen in my life. And as soon as I saw the outside of the car and she opened the door and I saw the inside of the car, I had a really one of the top leaders in my industry 20 years ago tell me this. He goes, whenever I flew into town and I got picked up by the leader that was picking me up to go speak, I could usually tell what their life looked like by what the inside of their car looks like. Do you live a life of excellence? What does your car look like? Is there trash in the floorboard or is it clean? What is your bedroom? Is it meticulous? Like, what does that look like? Do things with excellence. The other thing is doing things without being asked. What needs to be done? Listen, leaders take action. Leaders do not wait for somebody to ask them to do something. So, faith, physical condition, relationships. You want to get your relationships in order to become a servant leader. The fourth thing is your business. Who are, and this is what I have my team do, and I've done this for 20 years. Who are the top 2 or 3 people that are in your field? If you're a network marketer, who's the best? If you're a physician, who's the best? If you're an influencer, who's the best? I don't care if you're a teacher in a school, who's the best? I don't care if you drive a trash truck. I don't care if you're an attorney. I don't care what you do. Who is the absolute best at doing what you do? And here's what I want to encourage you to do. Build 3 or 4 relationships with the top people in your field. Offer to get in proximity with them. Take them out to dinner. Take them out to lunch. Book a Zoom call with them, even if it's for 15 minutes. Prayerfully come up with some great questions to be able to ask them. So that's going to be number 4 on your business side. And then the 5th is financial. Like, who are the people that you need to be around to elevate not just your financial game, because it's not about the commas and the zeros in your bank account. Let me tell you where it starts. It starts right here in the mindset. Starts right here in the mindset. Had a conversation with my good friend Jeff. My goal this year, and dude, I've got it sitting right here, is $1 million check for me to cash, for me to write to myself this year. Not just my business, but this is a bonus check to me for $1 million. Who are you spending time with that's helping you? As we're talking about health, we're talking about wealth, we're talking about overall life. Who are the people that are around you that are helping you? I sat with my good friend Jeff, who's the host of this, the CEO of this business they're launching. And this is what he did. He leaned across the table from me when I told him what my goal was several months ago. And I said, I want to cash this $1 million check. I want to clear $1 million this year for myself. And Jeff looked across the table at me and he goes, a month or a week? And I said, no, you don't understand. I want to make $1 million, not my business. Our goal is to do 5. So I'll make over $1 million if I do 5. But I said, I want to make $1 million. Jeff leaned across the table again and he said this, he goes, a month or a week? And then it hit me. Oh, he's challenging my mindset. He's challenging the limited beliefs inside my head to say, listen, Kim, I want you to think higher. I want you to believe higher. I want you to remove these limited beliefs that you may not even realize are actually there. So here's what I want you to do. For everybody who's watching us online, sorry about the water, super thirsty. The gym absolutely kicked my tail this morning. All of you guys who are online, all of you guys that are joining us in this Zoom that I'm in, I know we've got several different Zoom rooms, tens of thousands of people watching us online. What is your ideal number for you this year? Income-wise, I want you to type it in the chat right now. Come on, we've got hundreds of people on this Zoom call. Type it in the chat right now. Here's what I'm going to do right now. I may be able to only talk to hosts and panelists, but that's fine. I'm going to type it in the chat right now. Boom. There's my number. What is your number? I want you to write your number. If you've got a planner, you've got a journal, write your number down. Like for me, I've got a check that sits right here in front of me that in 10 months, I'm going to cash. So today, guys, we have talked a lot about health. We've talked about wealth and how when those two things merge, it is the catalyst for us to be able to live the life that we desire to live. I'm going to turn this back over to my man, Master Jeff, and let him wrap this up. Guys, it's been an honor. It's been an honor being with you today. Master Jeff, I love you, dude, and happy birthday, my friend. Thanks, guys, for letting me be a part of today.
We had a lot of, issues going on, especially in a live event is happening. So that's why I just want to thank for these teams, how they put things together and how they are professionally, make the magic is happening, because so many people are supposed to show up here to help us, and the last minute they're canceled. So we have to manage everything by ourselves, and it was an amazing experience. This is my first time to the VR studio, and this studio, oh my God, I'm telling you, you're gonna see us a lot here, and you're gonna see a lot of magic which is happening over here. I just want to personally thanks Mr. Brett and Mr. Brooks, the two brothers here, along with the dad, Mr. Team, to help us to create and make this magic is happening. If you were able to see what's going on over here and what you see through the lens of this camera, you couldn't believe it at all. So this is an amazing day. This is an amazing moment for us. So, the thing I wrote about is the studio, the camera which they're shooting right now is the same camera they're using in Ozark serial on Netflix. And one of the people here, the director and cameraman here, he's an amazing, was talking to me. That's why I needed my phone, because I needed to read his name, because he's the Italian name. And the Italian love to have a very difficult name for pronunciation. I wish I could have him in front of the camera. His name is Loreto di Cesar. And he was telling something about, it's amazing when you talk about health journey, when you talk about nutrition, when you talk about supplement and how you can have the better and healthier life. Everybody wants to contribute. Everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody wants to, engaging. Because this is the fact. You're talking about something everybody can link into it and understand it, and they're looking for it and they want it. He was telling me he was the director, writer, and did all the production for the lady called Vandana Shiva, and the movie they're creating is Revolution Food Movie. I encourage you, please, to go and, would you please take my phone? I encourage you, please, watch this documentary and watch this movie. It's an amazing, and the concept is so simple. The soil is a reflection of your gut. That's it. This is that simple to show you how everything connecting to each other. And once you learn the art of how you use this power and knowledge and turn it into your benefit, your health journey, your life would be changed forever. So there is a quote the Mexican Joslin was saying in his mastermind. It was from Bradley. He said, what would you do and how happy you are if I give you $1 million right now? Definitely everybody jumping up from the chair and so excited to say, yeah, I would love it and I want it. But under only one condition. You wouldn't wake up tomorrow morning. Who wants it now? See? That's how our life is valuable. That's how we have to take care of ourselves. I told you the triangle of life of happiness starts with health, nothing else, and continue with wealth, which we're going to talk about it hours later, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, how we can create the wealth through this program for yourself as well, and the love and mental health. I'm not encouraging you to do anything unless to create a life of happiness for yourself. Because you have to believe to the power of one. One more time. And I encourage you, please, to read the book, Power of One. Because this book is going to change your life too. I spent a lot of time with my good friend, Mr. Sadhguru. Maybe so many of you heard about him, about his mission, what he's creating for world. So literally, he has influenced over 4 billion people only under one mission, to help them to save the soil. So I just wanted to give a little shout out for the Save the Soil here. It might add a little bit help into his journey, because he don't need anything else. He just wants the awareness of people to be careful about the planet and the soil. Because if we are not opening our eyes right now, if we are not wake up right now, next 25 years we're going to experiencing horrible things about environment change, earth change, soil change, and people fighting against each other because they are hungry. Because we are about to losing the majority of our land because they losing the quality which they have to providing food through the soil to us. Why? Because we are using a lot of chemical on the foods we are using. That's why it causes a lot of new diseases and problems these days. Please, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, whoever watching us right now, from anywhere around the planet. I know I just received a text from New Zealand. They said now it is almost 7 a.m. and they are online from 4 a.m. The other part of the country is in Singapore, Malaysia. They text me now it's almost midnight, 3, 4 a.m. and still they are here because they're looking for something. Because there is a reason you're sitting over here. Believe me, there is a reason you're sitting over here. Might be it's for you or the one you love. But it's better to wake up as fast as possible because whatever is happening in our life is happening because we don't know we are not awake. And as soon as we are awake, nothing on this planet can stop us of achieving our goals and our mission and our purpose. So me, myself, am so proud to working with so many amazing leaders around the world. And I'm so proud of them. And I do anything in my power to bring them on stages which they should be and they belong to. I promise you in front of the over 110,000 people here and today, August 6th, as you wanted me to have this conversation on August 6th, even though we wasn't prepared to have the same date at my birthday. So today is my birthday. Birthday to open my eyes and wake up, and the birthday to be written, the one which is written on my document. And I want to be your birthday too. Open your eyes, be the human, do what you have to do to change the world to the better way. Be the best version of yourself, be the human, and the most important things, never ever allowed anybody out there to steal your identity and wants to show who you are. Never ever allowed anybody's opinion become your own reality. You are who you are and show to the world you are worthy. You can do anything as long as you understand how important you are in your life. Thanks so much for listening to me, listening to all these brilliant and amazing people. I'm so grateful to have all these people around me, and I have a strong feeling which we are going to change the world to the best version ever possible together. And it's not going to happen unless all of us put hands to hands together and make this vision happen. Thank you to all of you.